I wave my white flag and I surrender. I can't do the man-hating thing anymore. Like, I've been a man-hater for so long. Like, they're all... I just can't. Like, I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I just, like, want to be a lover. You know, I just want to be a lover. I don't want to be a hater anymore. Like, I have a brother. He's really cool. He's an awesome man. I'll give him awesome sauce. Like, he's an awesome sauce, bro. I wave it and I come in peace. There's good men. Like, can we just believe?
You know, I try not to judge, you know, but at the end of the day, I gotta be honest. If you I can't kick it with you. I'm sorry. I just can't kick it with you. Now, you can do whatever the fuck you want to. Be free in your liberation all you want to, but hey, you ain't gonna do it on my time, not on my dime. All right? You understand what I'm saying? I've had my fair share of being friends with her. And you know what that always got me? Me damn near fighting they battles. Because I'm sitting there like, they ain't them. Whole time, they did. I never forget the time I'm in gym. I'm damn near finna squabble with him because he keep me. Yeah, your friend. Yeah, we just ran your friend. Y'all ain't do shit like that. Come to find out, the whole football team didn't ran this, and I'm fighting tooth and nail for this hoe. Then when I go ask her, hey, did you really let these run you this? Look me in the face, go say so. Well, a little bit, huh? How you? With that being said, if you on your own. I don't got shit to do with that. All right, go do that shit your side of Mississippi. I'm bringing it over here because birds of a feather do not flock together.
Y'all are starting to make my job too easy. I just got out of a custody hearing that I won in basically 10 minutes. And I was able to achieve this all because of just one sentence. One sentence stated by the child's mother. Well, Lauren, what's going on? I thought you never asked. I'm representing a father in a custody case. The couple used to be together, not together anymore. Once they broke up, they had a court order put in place. The child lived with mom. Dad has his visitation rights. Note that I was not the attorney on the original custody case. So a year or so goes by after that original case, and Dad hires me because he's saying that mom is infringing on his rights as a father. She's not following the order. She's not letting him see his child. And since, in his words, she's alienating the child from him, that is not in the child's best interest. It is in the child's best interest for the child to have both parents in their life. So he's trying to tell the court the child should be with me because I wouldn't do this to the mother. She'll be able to be involved. The child should be with me, and she can't make good decisions. Also, fun fact, Dad moved out of state after the breakup. They don't live very far apart, maybe like a 5-hour drive, but important fact that child lives in Texas with mom, Dad doesn't. So after we filed the case, mom is starting to act right again because she knows we're heading to court. So Dad has been seeing the child. Well, during the visitation, Dad finds an air tag in the child's shoe. He gets rid of it. Also, please note that it is Texas law that if there is a pending family law case, no matter if that's divorce, custody, etc., you cannot track a child or party while that case is pending. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm here putting y'all up on game for free. There's a lot of laws in Texas that people don't agree with. Blame your legislators. They create the laws. Get out and vote. Well, mom goes to check the location of the AirTag and she realizes the AirTag has been disabled. It's off. And this is the one sentence that mom said that allowed me so effortlessly to win my hearing. She sends Dad a voice text and says if he does not cut that tracker back on so she can see where her child is, then she was going to call her brother to come pow him. And there's going to be some slow singing and flower bringing. So here I am in court, just bring on in my little portable speaker, cut it up to the max volume, and just like that, a simple play button, and the hearing was over. The judge looked at her after giving her some very choice words, told her she might want to go pack her child's bag so that the child doesn't have to start completely over from scratch because he will be moving in with Dad. Now, this is probably one of the worst days of her life, and it didn't help that she didn't have a great attorney because there is no way in hell I would have had that be my client and that happen because I gave her lawyer the recording. If roles were reversed and I was representing mom and he was representing Dad, the moment I would have heard that recording, I would have done a settlement offer and be like, let's work this out. Let's come together. Because I wouldn't have wanted what just happened to happen. Now look, you've lost your child. I don't want to see this happen to any of my followers. I love all 800,000 plus of you if you're watching on TikTok. I don't want this to be you. So what did we learn from this? Drop down in the comments and let me know, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Like I said, these women, y'all know. Y'all know these women. Y'all know what they about. We don't need no background check. We don't need a T-app. I done said this dozens of times. They gonna tell on themselves. They gonna tell on themselves. They gonna let you know exactly what they've been up to. They can't hide it. They just can't. They're terrible people. Borderline, in some cases, criminals. They're criminals, man.
I was kind of dating a man, and we made love. And after we made love, I said, "You're my boyfriend." And if you want to know how to see fear, just the fear of God go through a man's eyes, just say to him after he's just made love to you, "You're my boyfriend." The way this man's a brick.
Well, it is, in fact, a nightmare of a lot of the men out here to wife a person of the night.
I just feel like women shouldn't get on this app complaining about there not being any good men when those good men that you say you want, those are the same men who will come and ask you on a coffee date just to see where your head at. And you get so offended because, oh, how dare you ask me on a coffee date, that you can shot yourself in the foot. This could be the end of your dreams. But you're not going to find that out because you're too busy worried about him asking you on a coffee date. Ma'am, he just want to sit down and talk to you. He just want to see if y'all connect. He wants to see if you're worth the effort and the time and the energy. Nobody wants to put all that into a person that's not worth it. It was easier to just have these conversations up front, get on the same page, or figure out if you can be on the same page rather than wasting years with someone just to find out y'all weren't compatible. A lot of those years that y'all be wasting could have actually been prevented if you had had a simple sit down coffee date. You ain't even got to drink no coffee. Just sit down and talk to him.
I wave my white flag and I surrender. I can't do the man-hating thing anymore. I've been a man-hater for so long. They're all... I just can't. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I just, want to be a lover. I just want to be a lover. I don't want to be a hater anymore. I have a brother. He's really cool. He's an awesome man. I'll give him awesome sauce. He's an awesome sauce, bro. I wave it and I come in peace. There's good men. Can we just believe?
I was kind of dating a man, and we made love. And after we made love, I said, "You're my boyfriend." And if you want to know how to see fear, just the fear of God go through a man's eyes, just say to him after he's just made love to you, "You're my boyfriend." The way this man's a brick.
Well, it is, in fact, a nightmare of a lot of the men out here to wife a person of the night.
As I'm getting older, I'm in my late 30s. I think I speak for a lot of ladies out there. As I'm getting older, I really appreciate eye contact. It's so rare these days, which is really sad, but just remember, guys, we love eye contact, especially when we're getting ruined.
Well, probably because men don't want to be called creeps. So they avoid eye contact.
Just because it's not the communication that you like does not mean that that's not communication. Someone informing you that right now I do not want to respond is definitely communication. Now, the reality of it is they have to come back to it. So they can't just sit up there and say, "Oh, I don't want to respond." And then by the time we finally talk, now something else then came onto your plate that you're mad about. Yeah, so we can end up having another conversation. We have to have this conversation. And then you set ground rules too. So, okay, I'm going to leave you alone right now. But by 9 o'clock, we need to talk about this. Because you know how I am. So by 9 o'clock, you need to make sure that you're present enough to tell me what is going on with you. But yeah, I mean, correct. I could sit up there and like the example we just used, I come home and I am mad because this man that made me mad today. Okay, somebody that made me up to here, and all I could think about is if I was at home and I did not have to go to work and clock in at 8 a.m., this would not have happened. And whose fault is that?
Yeah, but at some point in time, you got to mature out of that. walking away all the time. You need to get better control of your emotions. Talking about, oh, we gonna come back around to it at 9 o'clock. No, we're not. Whenever you get mad, we're not gonna continue coming back to it at 9 o'clock. You need to get control of yourself, just like you want me to be in control of myself. And let's go ahead and hash this thing out so we can go do what we was doing before.
Considering asking the person I have a crush on out. Okay, final update on the situation. Unfortunately, he's not interested. And I don't know if stating the reasons are really my business to tell. But overall, he just has a lot on his plates. And I completely get it, as being somebody that also works full-time and goes to school, has to keep up with homework and, maintain being a human. It's a lot of work, and it's completely understandable. So I'm not butthurt about it. Honestly, it felt so relieving telling him and getting it off my chest. And ended up doing it through text because I did it. It was on my mind heavily, and I had to get it off my chest. So, it's okay. We're homies. Today was fine when we talked.
Well, at least you shot your shot, and he was respectful in saying that he wasn't interested, which modern women seem to think that men can't communicate. But once again, here we are.
Babe, I just saw a 3-minute and 11-second video of a woman saying how much she hates and regrets being a mom. She literally starts the video off with, "I'm a single mom with an 8-year-old. And I've been miserable for the last 8 years of my life." That's how she starts the video, and then goes on to a detailed, vivid description of why she hates being a mom, why she regrets it. She's never been happy being a mom. She wishes that she could go back. If she could do things different, she would. She's telling people never have kids. She never had a village. Just going on this outrage of why she hates being a mom. She ends the video with saying, "Don't be a mom, whether you're married or not. It is not worth it. Don't do it." Ends the video. Now, the first question that popped up in my mind, I needed to ask her, because it wasn't for nobody else. It was for her. So I go in the comments, and I don't dance in the comments much, babe. I don't. I ask, your son's 8 years old, right? How is your 8-year-old son supposed to feel when someone brings him a video, flips it in his face, and it's his mom going on a 3-minute and 11-second rant saying how much she hated being his mom, how much she regretted it, how much she wishes she could do it, how much she's telling other people don't do it, how much she's telling people that because she had you, it ruined her life and she was never able to do anything. She's been miserable for the last 8 years of her life. How is a young boy supposed to digest that coming from his mom? Because you're putting it out into the world. You don't think that it's going to circle back around to him? It is, if it hasn't already. So that was my question. So when I post my question, of course, people started liking it. A lot of comments started coming in under it, and she deletes the comment. Eventually, she deletes the video in its entirety because she started to see that those comments were starting to outweigh the likes. When people start seeing that the comments is outweighing the likes, people start saying, "Oh, okay, this video is not going how I expected it to go." Eventually, she deleted the video and then blocked me. But the question still stands: how is your son supposed to feel about this? And also, if you're feeling this strongly about your son and about you having your son, I'm curious about what is the quality of his life at home. There's a lot of questions after seeing this video of you saying how much disdain and resentment you have. These are words that she used. Disdain and resentment that you have, that you have a child. There's a lot of questions behind that video.
You have to have the emotional maturity. Nobody is saying that you can't have those thoughts. See a woman in the comments saying, every mom has had those thoughts. I'm tempted to call my mama right now and see what she says. But, regardless of all that, we understand that parents, being a parent, having a child, even though you love them very much, my God, my God, I get it. I understand it. But what he's trying to say is, what would it look like for your son to hear you saying that? Well, how would it make him feel? Y'all always want men to consider y'all's emotions, your husband to protect you and your emotions, but you go off and pop off at the mouth and a man just has to eat it. You say a bunch of stuff and a man just has to take it and be like, oh yeah, you're valid, it's okay. Y'all never stop to think, how is this going to affect my son, my husband, my nephews, my daddy? Y'all never stop to think about that stuff because you're so freaking selfish.
I went on a date with someone last night. We were talking about exes, as one does in a new situationship. I was telling him about my most recent experience, and he said to me, you deserve to be treated better than that. And I immediately started crying, of course, because I know that, but it's hard to accept. And then I said to him, I like the way you treat me. You're very kind and you're very sweet, and I hope you know that. And then he said to me, Maddie, it cost me absolutely nothing to treat you like this. To open your door, to carry your bags, none of that cost me anything. That is the absolute bare minimum. You deserve even more than that. And I was just like, that's wild and so true. Like, why are we accepting so little when like the basic decencies are literally free? Like, you can open my car door and it costs you nothing. Like, I don't need you to pay for my food. I need you to like hold my hand and walk on the proper side of the street. Anyways, I just thought that was wild, and I would love to hear your experiences about like where you draw the line for what's the bare minimum, because I think I really need to raise the bar.
I think in all that, you need to tamp down on the bare minimum, because you get out of that relationship and then you get into another one and then you start the same foolish talking, and then you're going to end up in the same place that you were in before you got into the relationship. You need to move on for some stuff as well. It don't cost that man anything, but also it don't cost you nothing to be grateful and show some gratitude. You ain't the only one. You ain't the only one that need to be receiving something.
I've asked this, say, no, my wife is not my friend. No, I can't talk to her about things. Why is that? And how can we change this?
I think a huge thing that I learned in this is because wives are often overly critical. And it's because when a husband comes in vulnerability and the wife meets it with criticism, that vulnerability window, it shuts. And they don't feel safe to open that back up, because when a man comes with emotional and spiritual vulnerability, I mean, he doesn't do that with many people. You know, like maybe one of the boys, if he's lucky.
Right.
If he has a brother in Christ with that kind of depth,
yes.
You know, maybe. But like, this is a space that he will open up to his wife and probably nobody else. And so when that wife comes in with criticism and this is how you could do it better, and why didn't you do this, or just meeting him in a place of, or even maybe I've seen this on the other extreme too, of like overly emotional, like coddling of like, let me be your mother.
Woman in the comments said, so how are you supposed to respond, especially if they're bringing up something you don't approve of? Is this a joke? Y'all talk about emotional intelligence and you don't know how to navigate and balance somebody's feelings? You listen with understanding. You don't have to validate it, but you allow that person the same grace that you would want. I mean, we can start there. What are we doing?
Here are some controversial rules or requirements or opinions I have on monogamous relationships. So what I'm going to be talking about is, let's say hypothetically, I am with you, you are my partner, we want each other, we're in a monogamous relationship, we love each other, and here are some rules or kind of requirements that I have that, like I said, are controversial to some people, but they're pretty much non-negotiables for me. Number one is, what's mine is yours, and hopefully what's yours is mine. And I know people are going to take this as me being a gold digger and wanting your money, but hear me out. I have over 20 vehicles, and if you want to just take one of them to work, like grab the keys, go to work, bring it to a car show, pretend it's yours, I literally could not care any less. I think the whole point in having fun toys is sharing them with other people, letting other people enjoy them. I think it would be really selfish and boring if only I was able to drive them. I don't care. Take them, do whatever you want with them. And I would hope the same vice versa. Now you're gonna say, oh, women don't know how to drive. I know how to drive. I can drive a trailer, back up with a trailer, I can drive a stick, I can parallel park. I know how to drive. I'm a good driver, and I'm very confident in that, and I know that for an absolute fact. So yeah. And that has nothing to do with money, because I've said this before. There are two things when it comes to a man and like a hypothetical relationship that I could not care any less about. Those two things are, one, a man's height, and two, what a man makes in a year. I truly don't care. I'm not trying to be a pick me and say, oh, I don't care what he makes, when in reality I do. I literally don't. I literally don't care. I could not care any less. As long as you are happy, I just don't care. I can provide for us. I have enough. We're gonna be fine, and if you want to contribute, cool. If not, I literally could not care any less. So this isn't a gold digging like, oh, you need to give me your money if we're together. I don't care. Another thing is, the more projects, the better. If you're not willing to hop on Marketplace, find something 17 hours away on the other side of the country and say, hey, let's go drive and get this right now and get there at 5 in the morning, I'm down with that. And if you're not willing to do stuff like that, you don't think that's fun, that doesn't like interest you, that's fine, but you're not the person for me. The next is, I don't want to be with someone that lusts over other women. Now, I am not hot enough by any means to be like enough for someone, but when I'm with a man, I only want him. I don't have eyes for other people. I don't lust over other men. I don't think about them. I don't look at them. And I would expect the exact same. There are men out there that are capable of doing this, and that is the kind of guy for me, because I'm very, you know, I just want the one person, and I would hope for the exact same thing. I know a lot of couples are fine with checking out other women, watching PORN. It's just not for me. No doing anything behind my back unless you bought a project, you went to the bank, took money out of our account, and you went and bought a project somewhere, and you're surprising me with something we can work on together. Because like I said, the more projects on my property, in the pole barn, in my driveway, the better. If you're not down with that, you're not the person for me. Those are just a couple off the top of my head, so let me know, what do you guys think? Do you have different opinions? Is there anything you want to contribute? Let me know below, and let me know if you want to know anything else.
Honestly, Alexis, this seems too good to be true. Way too good to be true.
I'm really frustrated right now because the man I want, I would never date. I would never date. Never in a million years. I would never date. And the man that I would date couldn't come correct.
Well, unfortunately for you, the man that you would date don't need you.
Like many women, I get a fair amount of men checking me out when I'm just out and about in the world, not bragging, simply stating a fact. The way the median age of these men increases by about 30 years when I'm wearing my scrubs, I don't even look hot. They're just thinking about end-of-life care, you know?
This dude said, gotta have a woman that recognizes the signs of a stroke.
What women consider average is different than what men consider average, because a woman may look at another woman who is not making as much money, or who doesn't have a college degree, or who a customer service rep, and say she's just an average woman. But a man may look at that customer service rep and put her as a high value woman if she is fit, feminine, friendly, if she's attractive, if it's that man's type, if she is easy to get along with, if she is very feminine, if she has nurturing qualities. And so the things that women consider average is a lot different than what men consider average. And I think this is also why there's a disconnect, because when she went there, she talked about, dating on a level, and then she wanted to talk about women who can travel. A man is not getting turned on because a woman can travel, or because a woman has a passport. Like, that's not a thing. Men have not fought wars to try to win wives because they want a woman who could travel. Like, that's not a feminine attribute that men are looking for, right? They're looking for feminine, friendly women who are beautiful to them, attractive to them, who are appealing to them, who are nurturing, who are cooperative, who are just good to be around, who bring the peace. That's what men are looking for.
Wanting me to chase you when I look like this is crazy business. No makeup, literally just going about my business, doing my errands.
Baby, you got like 16 necks. What the Can we please get back to reality, bro? And can we get back to being honest and real with people? I feel like we are in a world where I'm forced to accept delusion. Like, did we forget that there's a such thing as what society deems as attractive? Like, I feel like this whole wave that we have of just accepting anything and everything is forcing us in a place of delusion as a society. Like, everyone can't be beautiful. But these rules only apply to women. They don't apply to men at all. If a man is ugly, that's ugly. Simple. There is no way around it. If that's fat, he's just fat. But if it's a woman, if she's ugly, y'all fill them comments up with 11,000 comments and say, oh, you beautiful queen. Oh, you the baddie. You the baddest queen. Y'all just sitting up there sympathizing and lying. Just sympathizing and lying. That's terrible. And don't let her be overweight too. Y'all don't call her fat. Y'all say she plus size. Y'all say she big boned it. But she BBW. But let it be a man. There's no sympathy there. Y'all just call that fat. And sympathy love is the worst love to give, to be honest. Because once that mad at you, or y'all have a real argument, they gonna tell you everything they've been really wanting to tell you. And best believe all that's probably true. Because I ain't never seen a person get into an argument with an attractive person and call them ugly. Never seen a person get into an argument with a rich person, call them broke as. I ain't never seen a person get into an argument with a shape mouth, call them fat as. So all that pandering to somebody because you feel bad for them, that's don't help their case. You're just helping them live in delusion. Can we please get back to being honest with each other? Please. I want to escape this whole world that we done created of just accepting anything. But what do I know? I'm just in the lift weights. Have a good day.
You know, you never really want to trash people and make them feel bad about themselves. But we have to live in reality, man. We just do. And these modern women, they're inflating. They're trying to market themselves way too much as something that they're not.
Probably one of the biggest icks ever when men call themselves and other groups of men kings.
We have a full-blown hater in our midst.
You ever dating a guy and he tells you that he loves you and he's like the best guy ever and he's like super supportive and like really phenomenal and like unbelievably really like genuine and great, and like everyone in your life starts dying and he's still like really great, not like over the top great, not like love bomby great, but like great, just like perfect, like melds beautifully. And then you get on birth control and you tell him it's going to give you mood swings and make you a little bit sensitive, and he's like, don't take it then, like, we'll, you know, just like work around that, like don't worry about it, don't take it. And you're like, no, it's okay, like you just gotta kind of work with me. And he's like, yeah, for sure, like absolutely. And then he like is super stressed and he's like an avoidant personality and he disappears for like half a day, and you reach out and you're like, hey, like I understand, because like I understand who you are, but like that kind of hurt my feelings a little bit. And then he was like, hey, yeah, I was kind of avoiding like life, and then disappears and puts his phone on D&D, and you're like, okay, but like you still didn't really come back in and make me feel better about this. And then he disappears for another 12 hours and he's not online anywhere, like he's just MIA. And then you're like, okay, if you like want your back, like if that's where you're at, because like this is insane, like you've been disappeared for the better part of 27 hours at this point. So you call a couple times, you text a couple times, you don't like freak out and yell. You're just like, hey, this feels it feels like you're intentionally ignoring me, and if you don't want to talk to me, that's fine. So let me know if you want your check, because like you're not gonna treat me like that. And then he messages and says, hey, that was a lot, I'm gonna need a few days, and disappears out of state with his friends, which was planned, but that was Friday night and it's now Sunday. And your last message to him was, take your space. I don't know where I'm going to be when you get back, because not only is this kind of prompted by the birth control that I had to take for us, but also like, even if you're in like an avoidance space, realizing that you're upsetting me should check your ass. And instead you were like, bye, I'm going to disappear for 3 days. So I was like, unless you come back in a much better manner, I don't want this anyway. Bye. But now it's been like 2 days and you have no clarity and you have no idea what's going on, or if and when he's going to reach out to you, and you're mourning something that's not done but not there, and I don't know what to do.
So somebody in the comments said that escalated way too quickly. He can't have a few days of space. I kind of agree with that. I understand how he's treating you, but the more I'm listening to it, the more I'm not trying to say whining, because I'm not trying to dismiss her feelings. But what I am trying to say is, I feel like you're overdoing it. I feel like you're overdoing it just a little bit. That's it. You don't got to do all of this. Really, if a man were doing this to you, this would be a red flag. Y'all block that man, restraining order. You relax.
Everyone says you can't turn into a housewife, and although I was never I was just a wife. Now I'm just wondering, like, can you turn a housewife into because I'm like, never mind.
This dude said yes, it happens every divorce. God, dog.
A lady told me a while back, when I became developing, you got to get a butt cape. What is a butt cape? It's a long cardigan. If you want to wear something that's a little bit more fitted, you put that long cardigan on top of it. It could be cute, fashionable. You could dress it up. I do it all the time, even if my stuff isn't form-fitting. But if it's too much showing, I'm gonna slap on that butt cape. As a person who also got a little body yaddy, do what you want to do. I've been told that I dress like a kindergarten teacher. I'm cool with that. Okay, I work with kids. I don't need them to see what's going on with me. It's about attention. It's not just she can't help how she's shaped. She can, but you can help how you dress. And I'm here to, I can tell you that. You just gotta know. You have to want to look a little bit more modest. She doesn't want to.
When it comes to the teacher bae discourse, I'm not gonna lie. At first, I thought y'all was just hating on that girl. I thought that y'all saw a cute girl with a nice body shape that she was naturally given, and I was thinking like, she can't help the way she's shaped. She should have the right to dress cute for work too. But that was before I realized that it's a BBL. Now, this just changes everything for me. And no shade to BBLs, but I just feel like this is the reality of seeing them out in the wild. If you see a BBL at the club or on the beach in Miami, or a hairstylist has one or a nail tech has one, then it's like, okay, cool, she got a BBL. But to be a teacher, and it's not even to say like a teacher can't have a BBL, because there's plenty of teachers that are naturally shaped, like a BBL pretty much. But I just feel like the fact that you would get this BBL, you work a job where you spend majority of your time out of your day with children, and then you're dressing in a way to accentuate the curves that you got from the doctor. That's where it's like, okay, this is kind of crazy. Like this.
I don't know why y'all are so appalled. Modern women, they don't really care about what people think. They just do whatever they want. They don't have any, I don't want to say class. Maybe that's the word. Whatever it is, they don't have it.
Why did you like this girl's bikini pic?
Well, because historically she's very insecure about her body, and I want to support her because I like to support and uplift women. So
Why'd you comment, "Damn, mommy, let me hit"?
Well, because I'm a thought leader, right? And if I show interest, that will encourage other high-value men to reach out to her as well. I'm just trying to start a trend. You understand?
She just DM'd me, "Hey girl, we need to talk."
Oh, no. She's just probably trying to steal me away from you. You should just block her because we don't need that negative energy in our relationship.
Don't see anything wrong with that. All valid answers. Continue.
You guys are always like, Maddie, if you wanted to get married so bad, then why do you talk crap about men? Aren't you like scaring them away? And let me tell you, at the time that I was set up with this guy, he was in the middle of buying a house. He was settling down in his career. Our families had met. Like, he was a really good husband to be, okay? And he had told our mutual friends that he was going to propose. And so I was like, hey, before you do that, I really want to tell you something. And he was like, of course, anything. And so I told him that I'm pretty sure I'm infertile because it's hard for everyone in my family to get pregnant. Like, we really struggle with miscarriages and stuff. And he could have taken that opportunity to like comfort me, right? And he didn't. He threw his head in his lap, screamed, and then marched around the parking lot. So
I think honestly, and by the way, I'm sorry that this happened to you. I'm sorry that you really can't have kids. I don't know if you want to have kids, so maybe that's not a bad thing for you, right? But the issue here is, while modern women continue to make themselves victims, you actually need to start taking accountability for your bad communication. Somebody actually mentioned this to you in the comments. You told them just now, after y'all had moved along and met each other's families, that you can't have children. It sounded like y'all were getting set up for marriage, is what it sounds like. And now you dropped this bomb on him. And what she responded with is, well, I told him I had epilepsy. Fantastic. Sorry that you have that. Great that you told him in the beginning there. But for somebody that's not educated on epilepsy, like if you would have told me that, I would have asked you questions about epilepsy and how it affects you in your life. But that wouldn't have led me to asking you questions about if you're infertile or not. So the person in the comments was like, maybe you should have told him that within the first couple of dates, to be honest with you. And of course, she came up with, well, I had epilepsy. We already talked about that, right? Once again, let's stick to the point. Accountability is needed. Better communication is needed, right? You need to tell him, especially when y'all are about to get married, it needs to be brought up. Hey, so what do you think about kids? Well, I would like to have a few. Okay, so, I got to be honest with you. I don't think that I'm able to have them because of a condition I have. I have epilepsy. Oh, okay. And then from there, you let him decide if he wants to continue the relationship. Oh, well, we can adopt. We can do this. We can all those other scenarios. You let him do that. But it does seem as though it's maybe a little bit manipulative.
I just want to tell men, y'all have been lied to. There are a range of podcasts that you can log into and hear somebody saying, oh, men only have 3 great loves in their lifetime. We're limited to that. And let me tell you, that is a choice. That is not true. With anything else you do, the more you do it, the better you get at it. But somehow with love, it's not. And let me tell you something. I think women on average have more loves because they're more willing to do it. And the more you're willing to do stuff, the more you come connected to it. Like with basketball, the more you practice shooting, the more attempts that you actually try, the more you understand how to do something. It changes not only your experience, but it changes your perception of said thing. And if you limit yourself to saying, well, I've only loved 3 people and that's about it, I can never do it again, then what type of life is that? That's not more authentic. That's more limited. And I'm not trying to advocate for like the more the merrier. Like I'm not trying to advocate that at all. I'm just saying once you have 1, once you have 2, once you have 3, you can do it again. There's no reason for you to feel defeated and feel like love is not out there for you because now you've gotten 2. You've gotten to 3 and you feel like, oh, I can never love like that again. That's a mindset. That's something that you've placed guardrails on yourself to say, I could never do that again. But it's not true. And if you believe that it's true, then it is. I don't think women go into love like that. We always know we can find love again. Love is everywhere. Love is all around us. Love is here. Love is there. Love is like, you never know when you're going to find love. However, you got to be open to the concept of love to find it. So now you got hurt and you feel like, oh, I could never do this again. So you won't. Or instead of taking what you learned from said situation and saying, I'm going to take this and then expand on it. Evolve my love to be deeper and wider. Now it's more limited because you feel like you can't do it. And somehow that is what we're preaching. That's what we're saying, like, oh, that is more authentic. Because I only got 1 time. But you don't have 1 time with everything else. You've had more sexual partners than 3. You've been in more basketball games than 3. You've had more jobs than 3. And in all of those instances, you've learned more about yourself. And you've expanded those areas of yourself. But somehow when it comes to love, that's not applicable. It's a lie. It's not true. And you got to stop thinking that. Like right now.
So this guy in the comments said, I hear what you're saying, but if we keep it basketball, if you get 2 to 3 serious injuries, I'm never going to be the same as I was before. Even if it's a small injury, mentally, you're not going to be moving yourself 100% until you fully rehab. And she says, yeah, but does that mean that you'll never play basketball, watch basketball, attend basketball games, or speak on it again? You just have to invest in a different way, right? You know what? There's things that I could say, but I feel like she's coming at it from a genuine perspective. So I'm just going to give you kudos and say thank you for at least trying to speak to men with respect. I ain't gonna lie to you, these women in the comments, they ain't going for it. They smashing her. One woman said, when it's your turn, please don't set up the camera and start crying. Stand and endure. Another woman said, girl, delete this.
These are my sisters.
As you can all tell, I am the prettiest one.
You're also the biggest one.
It's getting a little bit too violent in here.
Find a man with a good job. Find a man with a lot of money. I'm trying to find a man that can parallel park in between two cars with like a foot of space in between. Because think about it. We're going on a date, right? We made reservations, and the only parking spot that we can find is between these two cars in front of the restaurant. And our other choice is to go to a parking lot that's like 20 minutes away. I don't mind walking. I'm a cardio girly. Like, I don't mind a little stroll, but something about a dude that can just like swerve in and like park in between those two cars and act like it was nothing and be like, babe, let's go.
Well, I'm looking for a woman that can take the wheel on this and do the honors.
All right, I'm going to say it. Some of you aren't going to like it. Doesn't make it any less true. And here we go. Some women don't actually want equality. They want control. They want leverage when it comes to bills, provision, security, and safety. Suddenly, that's a man's job. But then when it comes to loyalty and respect, boundaries, it's don't control me because I'm a what? I'm an independent woman. You can't go around and demand 1950s chivalry, but then also want 2025 freedom. And that's not equality. That's entitlement. And here's a kicker for you. When a man asks for 50-50 in a relationship, all of a sudden he's broke and lazy. But a woman wants 50-50 responsibilities in the household and the cooking and the cleaning. It's fairness. It's one-sided perks, dressed up as empowerment. Good men, they aren't afraid of equality. But they are afraid of one-sided relationships where they give everything and only disrespect is returned. Equality is going to go both ways. Or it is an equality.
Yeah, men been do this. That's what men been saying for the last however many decades. But they continue telling men that they're insecure.